We're talking to Ms. Sharon Shaw, who is the president of the National Center for Black Family Life, and Reverend Dr. Kenneth Robinson, who is the pastor of Payne Chapel AME Church. Before we had our break for Black Pulse Profile, we were talking about some of the issues that impact upon the black family. And I'd like to say something about education. What impact has for example, the high number of high school dropouts that we have within the black community, what impact has that had upon the black family?
Well, of course, as you might imagine, that has a profound effect in this society upon any family. If young people don't stay in school, their opportunities to advance economically are severely lessened. And so we are very concerned about that. We're also concerned about education for those who stay in school. We're concerned about the quality of education for those youngsters. Often we find that our children are not pushed to perform at the level that they're capable. Often we find that they are not taught in using methods and using opportunities that are relevant to them and to their family structure and to their survival. And that's a very difficult thing because you can't teach what you don't know. And so we're very concerned about that whole area. Even in the area of alcohol and drug abuse, we find that our children who don't stay in school are children who abuse alcohol and drug abuse, but we find that our children who stay in school show a different kind of statistic than the majority child who stays in school, and they are not as prone to misuse and abuse alcohol and other substances. So there's a lot involved in that subject of education.
One of the things that comes to mind to highlight again at the conference on the 26th, we will have a couple coming in town from Boston, Massachusetts, who will be spending some time with our young people, with our youth. We really do want as many youth from our city to come out, because this couple will be working specifically along the lines of encouraging those young people to compete academically as we compete in so many other things and do so well. But there has been a peer disincentive, a peer pressure for us to not compete academically, and so often, even when the opportunities are there academically for us to perform, we don't take them because there's a negative peer pressure associated with becoming and with accomplishing and with achieving in school. So that's another one of the high points of the conference that we are encouraging our listeners to come out and see and become a part of on the 26th.
That couple that Ken refers to, they are a very exciting couple. Not only are they both MDs who have piloted this program at Harvard University, but they've implemented this program in the Detroit school system. And it was so successful in terms of motivating minority students to do and be their best that the Detroit school system has slated, I believe, that program to be implemented in all of its high schools over the next 4 years. So we don't want our young people to miss on the opportunity to have access.
You know, it's exciting because as our kids become more positive about themselves and improve their self-image and pull on those strengths that are their sources of ability to withstand temptation, they are going to be able more effectively to say no to the kinds of influences and negative influences on their lives around them. We have a program that has been piloted by the center called the SNAP program.
SNAP program. I wanted to hear about that program.
And the SNAP program, it's an acronym for Say No and Be Proud. And that really is the message that we're trying to give our young people, and then also to equip them with the skills, with the personal resources, with the ego strengths, to be able to say no to alcohol, to be able to say no to other drugs, to be able to say no to skipping school, to be able to say no to premarital sexual relationships, and those behaviors that lead to teen pregnancy, to be able to say no, and then not only to feel ostracized and peripheralized by their peer groups because they said no, but to feel proud about the fact that they were able to withstand the pressures to be involved in negative behaviors, juvenile delinquency. And that will carry over not only in alcohol and drug abuse, but in any of those other categories that we've mentioned and that really are impacting on the lives of our young people.
Now, what are you doing to carry this SNAP program out now?
Well, we've had a wonderful opportunity to begin to pilot the program here in Nashville. 19 Metro Parks and Recreation counselors have been involved in learning about the group process, learning about some of these primary and secondary prevention approaches, and have gone back into the community centers throughout the city of Nashville and have formed what we call SNAP groups of young people who have come together with the express purpose of supporting each other in saying no to those negative behaviors, and then hopefully in ever widening and expanding circles to begin to eventually involve more and more young people in that sort of setting with that approach towards life, rather than in those other circles that are much more detrimental to their health, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. And we have now over 300 young people in those community centers throughout the city who are involved in SNAP groups.
Let's say something about the program that you're going to